Good afternoon, I'm Raylene Ramsey, and this is your afternoon news fix for Wednesday, the 13th of December. The government won't be coughing up the extra cash to fund Kiwi Rail's increasingly costly ferry upgrades. 2 new ships and upgraded ports were projected for 2026. Azaria Howell reports.
Finance Minister Nicola Willis says Kiwi Rail asked for an additional $1.47 billion to address cost escalations on harbourside infrastructure. She says the costs almost quadrupled since 2018 to approximately $3 billion. The project will wind down and be reviewed.
Nicola Willis says Treasury and the Ministry of Transport advised the government not to agree to the cost increases.
It would be irresponsible for us to continue funding a project that has diverted so widely in scope and cost from the original proposal.
Kiwi Rail says the upgrades can't proceed without more government funding. Its board acknowledges the team and stakeholders are disappointed. Meanwhile, the new government's first piece of legislation has been introduced, removing the central bank's responsibility to focus on employment. The Reserve Bank Amendment Bill has passed 68 votes to 55. Nicola Willis says this will refine the bank's focus.
This bill, Mr. Speaker, makes clear that for New Zealand's new government, inflation is public enemy number one.
Labour's Grant Robertson says the bill is backwards looking.
It is to take away a focus on jobs by one of the most important actors in the New Zealand economy.
Hundreds have gathered in Auckland and Wellington protesting the government repealing smoke-free legislation. A 45,000-strong petition has been presented at Parliament. Labour's Aisha Verrill issued a challenge to the government and Health Minister.
We need our politicians in government to stand up for what they know is right. We need Dr Reti to honour his Hippocratic oath.
And Green MP Huhana Linden says it's tragic.
To unbundle 20 years plus of work in promotion, campaigning, healthy environments, legislation and quit support.
A call for a pause to fighting in Gaza. New Zealand's among 153 members of the UN General Assembly who have voted to call for an immediate ceasefire. The US was among countries not in favour. Retired international relations professor Stephen Hoadley says great powers like the US have their own agenda.
They are very happy to have smaller powers work with them, but they'll make choices that may disagree with what our government would be comfortable with.
In sport, relief is the primary reaction from Australian netball players after finally signing a collective player agreement with Netball Australia. The governing body and Players Association have agreed to an 11% pay rise for athletes over 3 years, along with a revenue-sharing partnership. Kiwi sailor Blair Tuke's thrown his support behind Littleton as the new host for New Zealand's Sail GP regatta. And the West Indies have downed England by 4 wickets in their first of 5 2020s in the Caribbean. I'm Raylene Ramsey. That is your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update tomorrow morning from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.